With Bray Wyatt seen training ahead of his potential return and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for September 23rd. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Talking about the backstage brawl that took place following AEW's All Out event, Jake Roberts said on the DDP Snake Pit, "It's none of my damn business, and it's none of the fans' business either. Stupid stuff happens in this world every day, and I just hate that these young guys chose a fight when they did. I'm sure that they're regretting it, and I think that they know the best thing they can do is turn the belts over to a tournament. It was wise, and go AEW, man. I'm all for you guys. I love you guys to death." During an interview with Wrestling Inc., former WWE referee Jimmy Korderas gave his take on Chris Jericho becoming the ROH World Champion on Dynamite this week. "I like the fact that they opened the show hot with Castagnoli versus Jericho and putting the title on Chris. Now with Chris Jericho being the ROH Champion, that championship has been elevated to a point that it has never been before." While Korderas would note he's not attempting to disrespect the former ROH champions, he said Chris Jericho is the biggest globally known superstar to hold that title right now, so I think he elevates that title. When speaking with LAD Bible TV about his plans for expanding NXT, WWE Chief Content Officer Triple H said, "So NXT Europe, NXT Australia, NXT South Africa, South America, Mexico, we will eventually build that into a global system that will lead to almost a World Cup scenario. The World Cup finals for NXT will one year be in London, the next year maybe Mexico City, and all the while really what you're doing is building this fan base for college football while you're building stars for the major league, which is Raw, SmackDown, WrestleMania, right? In India right now, we are the second biggest sport in India outside of cricket. It's massive already, but imagine that scale when we have a brand on the ground of native Indian people having their own brand, and one of them branches out and goes to Raw or SmackDown headlines WrestleMania. It's game changing." Triple H would also speak to The Ringer about a valuable lesson he learned from the late great Dusty Rhodes. "When you're first starting something, the successes stick with you, but the things that go wrong stick with you even more. You'll have something in mind, and in your mind, it's going to be great, and then you watch it come to life, and you're like, that was terrible, and you beat yourself up. And Dusty would always walk by me, and he'd tap me on the shoulder. He'd say, 'Kid, remember what I said. If you get 70% of what you see in your head to come out on TV, that's a grand slam.' I keep that thought in my head all the time. It's been a valuable lesson. When we lost him, it was tragic, because he contributed so much to the business, and his ideas and his concepts and his business ideas are still floating around today. That should tell you something, because there's very few people in this industry with that influence." On the Wrestling with Genres podcast, former WWE star Scotty Hotty spoke about the recent changes that have come to the company following the retirement of Vince McMahon. "I think you can just feel it watching the show. Everybody feels more relaxed, from the announcers to the commentators to the guys and the girls in the ring. They just seemed a lot more relaxed, you know, and not on eggshells like they were before, and you need that. If you're in any kind of creative job, we're supposed to be creative, and we don't just read a script and go out there and read a script." According to Fightful, it seems Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows are done with Impact Wrestling. As they wrote, the Good Brothers' time with Impact is reaching its possible conclusion. The Impact Tag Champions, Gallows and Anderson's original deals were 2-year contracts set to expire in late July. However, contrary to previous reports, the two aren't exactly free agents as of yet. We'd reported in the past they'd committed to appearing through August, and we've been told that they actually agreed to extensions. We've learned some more specifics on their agreements. The Good Brothers will remain with Impact until through the August 26th and 27th tapings in Dallas, Texas. In addition, they'll be heading to New Japan Pro Wrestling for a couple of weeks in September, but will be contractually free agents by then. We'd heard in the past they'd agreed to do some work with New Japan Pro Wrestling through the 2023 Wrestle Kingdom shows. Carl Anderson would note, "Where the Good Brothers are are headed, saying, "The Motor City Machine Guns versus the world-famous Good Brothers in the marquee box office." It finally happened. Chills on my body just hearing that. Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, nothing but respect for you. Nothing but respect for the Motor City Machine Guns. Impact Wrestling, we gotta tell you something. We're leaving for a little while. New Japan Pro Wrestling is where we're going. We've got business we gotta take care of across the pond. Gallows added, "We don't say goodbye. We say see you later. I'm happy we got to have a dream match on the way out, what we asked for 2 years with the Motor City Machine Guns. So until we get back from across the pond, too sweet." With Aliyah out of action with an injury, Shotzi Blackheart has replaced her as the tag team partner of Raquel Rodriguez, which makes Shotzi a babyface. It was noted by the Observer that Aliyah's injury wasn't considered serious at press time, as she's listed to return next week. Her injury was mentioned in passing on television without saying what it was. Reacting to Malakai Black's statement after announcing his departure from AEW, Jim Cornette accused the company of messing with the star. He's speaking in circles and riddles, but if he has had private issues go on in his life, that is terrible. But everybody else does too, right? If that has caused him to want to step away from his current employment, then that is fine too. But I think it may be a lot more of it is he might want to stay there at something he obviously chose to do and enjoys doing, unless they were in his mind screwing him around or messing it up some kind of way. Speaking of Black, the Wrestling Observer newsletter pointed out that WWE did make contact with the star. As they said, "What we do know is that Black was one of the people WWE reached out to, even though he had signed a 5-year deal with AEW. It was even noted that Black was not the only person to ask for his release at the time." Touching on the backstage turmoil in AEW, Chris Jericho told GQ that the company won't stop even if wrestlers leave following the Brawl It All Out. Without getting into specifics, it happens all the time. That's one of the things about being around as long as I have. You just recalibrate and you focus on the positives and realize we got a great locker room, a great group of guys and girls. I think we reestablished that on TV the last few weeks. We know this is a pretty social place and we're going to go out there and we're going to kill it. That's what we did. It's a reset and that's exciting for everybody involved, including me. We're just going to keep building upon it. That's what you do. That's how you have longevity. I bet you the Edmonton Oilers were terrified when Wayne Gretzky left, and they won a Stanley Cup that year. That's just how it goes when somebody leaves. Somebody else steps up. That's the best thing about wrestling or pro sports or even SNL. Adam Sandler leaves and suddenly Jason Sudeikis is the big name or whatever. So absolutely we're not going to miss a beat. We're going to go on and become bigger and better and stronger than ever. Staying on the topic of the backstage brawl that took place after All Out, Ronda Rousey questioned the legitimacy of the altercation on her stream, saying, "Was there a real fight? Everything is all hearsay. I don't know what to say. I wasn't there when it happened. I know I didn't see it. Are you sure it's not, a work?" Despite making her debut for AEW during Dynamite this week, Saraya is supposedly not cleared for in-ring action, as the Observer noted. There is no answer to the question as to what role she will play, if she will wrestle regularly, sparingly, or not at all. She got an enormous surprise pop, but these types of things always get that reaction. Muta got a similar gigantic pop. Pops and surprises are cool, but their long-term value is nil if they cost a lot of money. If she is going to wrestle and can go at her prior level, she will be a good addition, but it was notable in her run-in she didn't touch anyone, and with WWE, not only was she not allowed to wrestle, but nobody was allowed to touch her. We were told that she had not been cleared as of very recently, which would explain not touching anyone, but would like to be cleared. She is refereeing for her family's WAW promotion in a few weeks. With MJF apparently being given a pay raise from AEW, Dave Meltzer mentioned in the Wrestling Observer newsletter that MJF did an interview with Ariel Helwani to promote the Arthur Ashe Stadium show. He said that he got a huge raise in pay to return. Based on things we heard, it's more than $1 million per year, and claimed he did not have to sign an extension, and his contract expires on January 1st, 2024. With the song White Rabbit playing during WWE on commercial break, many have been speculating that this could be a new thing for Karrion Kross, who went by White Rabbit in Lucha Underground. Others feel this has to do with the return of Bray Wyatt. Fans noticed that Wyatt took to Twitter recently to like a tweet previously posted by the late Brody Lee, which reads, "Tomorrow there will be more of us," which seems to be an indication of his return to SmackDown tonight. ES News would also post a video of Bray training prior to his rumored return. Here's the video. According to Mike Johnson of PW Insider, Ring of Honor co-founder Gabe Sapolsky has been brought back to WWE, saying Sapolsky will be working on creative, but we have not confirmed whether it is for the main roster or he is returning to NXT. Sapolsky would write on Twitter today, "I am very happy to say that I will keep doing Twitter spaces for independent wrestlers, promoters, and others involved in the independents. Follow me to keep up to date on when the next one is." And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.